Hey guys, welcome back to Living in Santa Fe, New Mexico with Aiden Graham Real Estate. I'm Aiden Graham, a realtor and associate broker here in Santa Fe. So I created this channel to really help folks that are looking to relocate to Santa Fe and get a sense of what it's like here to see if it is a good fit for them. And if so, perhaps what they may want to do here or where they'd want to be. You know, I do episodes on neighborhoods, restaurants, activities, the outdoor scene, places to go. And in this particular episode, this is the third video of a three-part series on just Santa Fe in general. So this episode here, we're going to go into the economy and the job market, healthcare, schools and education, and what life is like to live here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button down here in this area so you don't miss the next episode. And feel free to always leave a comment down below if there's something you'd like to hear, something you'd like me to do an episode on, cover more. I'd love to hear about it. Always feel free to reach out, shoot me a message, give me a call. Love to talk real estate, love to talk Santa Fe. All right, let's dive into it. So Santa Fe's economy has historically rested on two pillars. You got the state government and tourism. As a state capital, government is the single largest employment base in the area. Between state agencies, the county, the city, and the public schools, a large share of local jobs are public sector. And the local job market is relatively tight. As of late 2025, the Santa Fe Metro's unemployment rate was running in the high 3% range, one of the lowest of New Mexico's metro areas and below the statewide figure. Now, tourism is the second pillar. Millions of visitors are coming through every year for the art, history, food, and festivals, and that really supports a deep hospitality and retail economy. You know, hotels, restaurants, galleries, the numerous shops, boutique spots around town. I mean, as you probably know, Santa Fe consistently lands near the top of, those national best places to visit type lists. Also placed number one in Travel and Leisure's number one city in the U.S. Healthcare is a third major employer, anchored by Christus St. Vincent, which I'm going to cover much more in detail in the next section. Then, of course, there's Los Alamos National Laboratory. It's about 40 miles northwest of the city, and it's one of the largest employers in the entire state. As of fiscal year 2025, it had more than 16,000 employees and an annual budget of $5 billion. A significant number of Santa Fe residents actually commute up the hill to these high-paying scientific, engineering, and technical jobs. You know, I've had a number of clients that have bought property here in Santa Fe and then make the commute up there, or there's actually a bus that they've hopped on and taken up through the hills. Beautiful drive through the mountains. Now, New Mexico has become a serious production hub, and Santa Fe specifically was ranked the number one small city or town for filmmakers by Movie Maker magazine for the fourth year in a row here in 2026. Now, there are some real studios and ranches in and around the city and statewide. Film and media generated roughly $320 million in spending in fiscal year 2025, and it supports, I think, somewhere around 8,000 jobs, which is helped along by the state's film incentives. That said, I mean, we really got to be realistic here because, I used to work in the film industry for a number of years. I got a number of friends that work in the film industry and clients, and what I've heard is it was a really slow year last year, and so it can be very cyclical and unpredictable. While it is a real possibility here, it's certainly not a guaranteed paycheck. And finally, you've got the arts and small business economy. A lot of people here are self-employed. I mean, you've got artists, makers, gallerists, designers, consultants, and a growing number of remote workers who actually relocated and then brought their jobs with them. So between the arts, the food service, and information sectors, you're looking at a real meaningful slice of the metro economy. So really, if you work in government, healthcare, education, tourism, at the labs, the trades, or the creative economy, or you're a remote worker, Santa Fe has got a real place for you. Of course, it's a much smaller market than a big metro, so you really want to look into those things before making that move out here to make sure that if you are relocating for work, that you've got that situation lined up ahead of time. So healthcare comes up a lot. I get asked this question all the time by folks moving out here. And so the anchor for healthcare is Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center. It was founded back in 1865 by the Sisters of Charity, which makes it the oldest hospital in New Mexico. Today, it's a private, not-for-profit hospital with a little over 200 beds, and it functions as New Mexico's main full-service health system. A few things that matter if you're relocating. It's a designated trauma center, one of only a handful in the entire state, and it serves a large region. I mean, you got well over 300 300,000 people across several northern New Mexico counties. Beyond the main hospital, the system runs a wide network of outpatient clinics around Santa Fe and the surrounding communities, covering, primary care, heart and vascular care, cancer care, orthopedics, women's health, behavioral health, and more. But for the more specialized or complex care, Santa Fe's proximity to Albuquerque, which is, about an hour south, roughly 60 miles down I-25, that'll give residents access to the larger hospital systems and the University of New Mexico's academic medical center. So Santa Fe can cover, the great majority of everyday and emergency healthcare needs here locally, but, you've also got a major metro's worth of advanced care about an hour away. Now, if you're moving here with kids or you care about education or your teacher, I'm going to try and break that down a bit for you as well. So for public schools, the main district is Santa Fe Public Schools, which runs around 30 schools and serves roughly 11,000 to 11,500 students. You got a mix of neighborhood schools, magnet programs, and specialized options across town. For ratings, attendance boundaries, and individual school data, the district's own site and third-party sources like Great Schools are a great resource to really dig into this further. Beyond the traditional district, Santa Fe has a notable number of charter schools, plus 2 specialty public institutions that are really one of a kind. I mean, you've got the New Mexico School for the Arts. It's the state's only free public statewide arts high school, where students actually have to audition to get in, whether that be for, creative writing, theater, music. Really interesting thing. I'd actually never heard of that until being here. It's actually based in the rail yard. Then you got New Mexico School for the Deaf, which is a state school in Santa Fe since 1885 that serves deaf and hard of hearing students from preschool all the way through high school. Then you got a solid set of private and independent options around the city that, you can do some research on directly based on what it is you're looking for. Native education. The Santa Fe Indian School is a tribal secondary boarding school serving Native students from pueblos and tribes across the region. It's clearly a really important institution that we have here with some deep roots. Higher education. I mean, for a small city, the higher ed lineup is pretty interesting. You got St. John's College. They have a campus here. They've also got one on the East Coast. But it's famous for its great books curriculum, where the entire program is built around reading and discussing the foundational works of Western thought. Pretty interesting stuff. Then you got Santa Fe Community College, which serves around 4,000 students with associate degrees and certificate programs. I've actually heard of a number of folks that go out there and will just take like a photography class or wood making class or something fun like that, which I hear they're really great. And you got the Institute of American Indian Arts, or IAIA, with roughly 900 students. It's a nationally significant tribal college focused on contemporary Native American art and culture. So I mean, between the public district, the charters, the specialty state schools, and the higher ed mix, there's really more educational range here than I think a lot of people would expect from a city this size. So what is life in Santa Fe actually like? A city that really runs on its culture, creativity, and the outdoors. I mean, the art scene, the food, the festivals, and the 400-year cultural heritage that we walked through earlier really give it this serious depth that you typically don't find in a city this small. Then you've got the outdoor scene, the trails, the mountains right there whenever you want them. It's really become a magnet for remote workers and people relocating from larger metros like myself, coming from LA, to have that slower pace of life, but still have a lot going on here to be able to do, and experience. And so helping people make that move is a big part of what I do. Helping them walk through the different parts of the city so that they can find the home and the setting that really fits what they're looking for. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to come and spend some time here to even see if it is the right place for you. And if it is, then what neighborhood suits you best, or what kind of lifestyle suits you best. I love helping folks out with that, to get to know the city, to get to know the things I love, and help introduce them to things that they may love or be interested in. A lot of things to watch out for, say inspections or different properties, or, a lot of these older homes what to know whenever wanting to do work in the historic district. So that's a big part of Santa Fe, the oldest capital in the country, 4 centuries of layered history, a world-class art and food scene, 4 real seasons, mountain views nearly everywhere you turn, and a real economy. The government, healthcare, the labs, tourism, film, and a deep creative sector sitting right behind it. So that concludes this 3-part series on Santa Fe. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you learned some stuff. Feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down in this area, because on the next episodes, I'm going to start diving into the neighborhoods, also the different activities to do here around Santa Fe, perhaps different restaurants and a number of things. So I hope to see you on the next one. And like always, feel free to shoot me a message, give me a call, drop a comment down below here if there's something you'd like to see or you'd like to see me cover here. I'd love to hear about it. And like always, love to chat real estate, love to chat about Santa Fe. So hope to hear from you soon. All right, take care.